Let's go now to our reporter, Jack Carson. He's outside a school in Edgbaston in Birmingham. And look, I'm really interested to see what's happening on the school gate there, Jack, because, of course, any parent will tell you they have been told they will not know until they get to the morning of whether or not their particular teacher will be striking or not, whether or not children will be going into school. What is happening where you are?
Well, that's exactly the case. It is literally a case-by-case basis, school-by-school basis. Lots of schools not knowing till this morning, as we turn into this 8 o'clock hour, whether they're going to be able to open or not, because of course teachers don't have to tell their school if they are going to be striking or not. I've seen a few teachers arrive here this morning. The school here seems to be open at least. Some parents already bringing their child into an early morning breakfast club. But of course, what classes can go ahead? A lot of classes today are going to have to be grouped together because, of course, it's not going to be the staff. We know that teaching assistants are also having to come in and help run those classes, as well as some volunteers. The government's saying that volunteers could go into schools to help look after children, help teach children, help provide and fill in those gaps that a lot of teachers striking today are going to cause. We know there's around 200,000 teachers that the NEU say are going to be striking today. That's on top of the 127,000 members who originally voted for industrial action. In the past kind of couple of weeks, they say around 40,000 extra members have joined their union. We know negotiations to try and stop these strikes were going on up until late yesterday. The Schools Minister, Nick Gibbs, saying the government was having very constructive discussions on the teacher strikes and has already held several meetings within the department. He says we're still negotiating and discussing issues of pay, of workload and of other issues that are of concerns to teachers. He says it's disappointing that the National Education Union has decided to go ahead with the strike and with all the disruption it causes to children's education. It's not the case that every single teacher in the country is going on strike. A lot of them feel, as some of the viewers you read out there mentioned, that it's a bit unfair after the pandemic to be not letting children have their full education now that schools are once again back. But for teachers, it's about three kind of real important things that I've seen from a lot of teachers, heard from a lot of teachers, particularly on social media, saying it's about one, underfunded schools, the squeeze on the school day and hours, and teacher workload. The government says it's committed to an extra £2 billion of spending for schools, but teachers saying that they have to work in things like holidays and what other jobs you have to work in your holidays in order to do your job. So teachers are on strike today. It's the first of 7 strike days with some regional and national strikes. Here in Birmingham specifically, around lunchtime, we're going to have a big rally of a lot of teachers, a lot of trade union members. Of course, as you mentioned, there's a lot of other public service industry workers going on strike today, including civil servants, train strikes again as well. So we're going to have a big rally in Birmingham today. But here on the ground, here at this school specifically seems to be open. But for parents up and down the country, the advice is to check with your school this morning whether you should take your child or whether they'll be able to get any lessons.
See if you can grab us a teacher. They'll probably all be inside now, or certainly some parents at drop-off, and would love to hear what they're saying in Edgbaston this morning. Jack, for now, we say thank you very much and see you a little bit later on.